Hi, so we're joined today by Tiny Steps. We have got Laura, who is the co-founder, and we're also joined by Scott, who's on the committee and one of the main fundraisers. Tiny Steps was nominated for Charity Group of the Year for a charity with under 50 volunteers at this year's Community ReAwards. And Scott was nominated for and won the award for Voluntary Fundraiser of the Year. So because we were unable to see them in person, we just wanted to have a catch up and find out what was going on in the world of Tiny Steps. So hi guys, thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Hi.
Laura, I'll start with you. Just tell us a bit about Tiny Steps, how it started and what you're up to.
Okay, so myself and my husband Martin started Tiny Steps after the birth of our firstborn little girl, and she's 10 now, but we didn't start it straight away. We started about 4 years after she was born, just because we realised what a lack of services there were for children with additional needs. So from the very outset, we were told she wouldn't live an independent life. She was in neonatal straight from being born, and she's been in that hospital in that first 12 months quite significantly. So we were told she wouldn't live an independent life, and when we went round to seeing our friends and family live in that, exciting time of having a firstborn, we realised it just wasn't the same journey we were experiencing, and realised there was nowhere to go. I didn't want to be surrounded by those other mummies like that, and that was just how I dealt with it. So we realised there was one little support group that was open on a Tuesday at the Russet School, which is where she goes to school now. And I just thought that we needed that every day. And it was my lifeline. And I thought that's got to change. It's, it should be there for everybody all the time. So that's how it started, literally from that I didn't want anyone to feel as lonely as I did and isolated. And it's just grown from that, really, for what the initial plan was, really.
So what kind of, where are you now then? What kind of services do you have? What support do you offer mums like that you found yourself in?
Yeah, so as I say, what the aim was then, and that's what we've sort of gone with, is that we aim to raise money to have our own sensory centre, which would be like a play barn to anybody looking at it, but it actually would be specialist for children with additional needs and their families, a place just for them, where it's safe and anybody can go to be together to get information on things that they're not used to, like physiotherapy, continence, and on all those things that it's the new world that they're thrown into, and that there would be like a social cafe there, and as I say, it would be a safe place. So that was what has started, where we've raised money for all of that, but in the meantime it's grown into actually supporting those families in the meantime, really. So we've started a stay and play session, and that's just grown massive. We've supported well over 50 families, where we provided a little stay and play at a community centre, and we outgrew it really quickly, so we then had to move premises, but again, every premises we go to is not ideal, which is why we need our forever home, because they're not safe, their doors aren't secure, the equipment isn't safe, but we're making the best of a bad situation, really, in making sure we've got somewhere. And all the families, if you look at some of the feedback they give, it's heartwarming, really. And we never did it for us, I've always done it for other people, and they're just so grateful that they've got somewhere where we're together, that nobody's looking at why their child isn't doing what another child would do in a situation. So the main aim has always been the same, and we've carried on fundraising tirelessly for that, but in the meantime realised we need to do something. So we have the stay and play, we hire out places exclusive, so the trampoline park have worked with us, Coco's at Frodsham, the play barn at Blakemere, we have support from Joe Jingles and the speech and language and Jane Mullen. So we have lots of things that we offer the families. We've hired out cinema space, just so they know that they can be there together alone. And that's all they want, is just for us to be together, where they feel safe.
And that must be like a massive lifeline to families who, like you say, can't just go to a standard soft play without there being like risks or dangers, for safety as well. That's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. They just feel so comfortable. Yeah.
So you're working towards your goal of having your own venue. So obviously that involves a lot of money, I'm assuming. So Scott, I guess that's where you come into it. How have you been getting on with your fundraising?
Well, it's been obviously tricky these last 12 months because of COVID. However, I'm sort of quite determined that the funds and the awareness keeps coming in, really. So a lot of the events that I had planned last year have all been moved. Some of them have been moved again because no one really knew how long COVID was going to last. But so yeah, there's probably the next 12 months full of good, exciting stuff, really. And all it does is just create loads of awareness for Tiny Steps, which is what it's all about, loads of funds. And then I also find that when someone does some fundraising for for Tiny Steps, it almost creates someone else wants to do something as well. So as I said in my last speech, there's a massive community now behind them who almost like there's a big goal and that's what they want Tiny Steps to achieve. So by all means, it's not just me who's fundraising. There's loads of people who do, which is great, and that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah, definitely. And I think like the more supporters that you have and the more volunteers helping you, it's just the more awareness you're raising for such an important cause as well. Because you see, like, it's not just actually about you guys and your situation anymore. It's growing so much bigger than that. And it really is, going to provide an invaluable service to the community that will be great access for anyone who needs it. So I've seen on social media that there's been a lot of fundraising going on, like doing runs in lockdown and stuff like that, getting out and getting exercise. And so you've got a couple of events planned for later this year, hopefully.
Yeah, so obviously since the government announcement earlier this week, there's almost like a bit of a lift, which I thought would happen anyway. So as soon as that was announced with the summer, with a bit of luck, touch wood, things will be a little bit back to normal by then. A lot of the events that hadn't sold out have started to sell tickets again. So the earliest one we've got is June, and who knows what will happen at June? It could be back to normal by then, or there could be a little bit longer. But with a little bit of luck, I feel that will happen. But then from June onwards, we've got a series of events and nights, and they're all good. They're all decent people who want to help out, and it raises, it's not about the funds really for me, it's about the awareness it brings. So some of the people that are coming along and helping Tiny Steps, these are people who are known nationwide. They're known by lots and lots of people. I always think that if they see these nights with Boone or Shed 7 or whoever it may be associated with Tiny Steps, it just raises loads of awareness for them, which is just as equally important as funds as well. So these nights are really important, but then there's, like as I said, there's lots of people who are doing other stuff as well all the time. So lots of Laura's friends who do runs, and Martin's brother has just done like something pretty amazing. He was out running 10k every day. Which is like, it made me sweat just watching him do it on social media. As I say, there's loads of people who are raising awareness and funds for Tiny Steps, which is really, really is.
I think that's the important thing. Like Scott said, it's just about we're really lucky with the local community. We're very lucky with friends and family, but lots of people who get in touch with us we don't know, who just do lovely things. And Scott says sometimes people worry about what they're going to do, that it's not going to be much money, but sometimes we've had some with the smallest amounts of money, but it's led us to so many other people that have said, well, when you get your premises, we'll paint, we'll do this, we'll provide the plumbing, we'll do the bath, all those other things that, or somebody who knows somebody else, or even if it is just that one family that says, well, actually, I've got a friend who's got a little boy who's got a diagnosis and I never knew about you. And it's like, well, that's what it's about. As long as we can reach anybody, or, if they just want anything from us, just a little bit of advice, if they don't feel comfortable coming to the stay and play, if they want somebody to talk to, then anything like that, we would always say, just let them know. I've had people ring me that I don't know, and they've come and joined us at the stay and play, and then they've continued with it, which is just, that's what it's all about. So they're not sat at home as I would have been when this happened, 10 years ago, really.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. It is so good, and it's really heartwarming when like members of the community volunteer like their services, like you're saying, like doing the painting, DIY, the new premises and everything. Like it makes such a massive difference, because you want to spend like your money on like the things that the children need and all, all that specialized equipment. So stuff like painting and electric work and stuff like that, you'd be like, yeah. How do people get in touch with you if they want to help you, or they need your services, or they want to volunteer for Tiny Steps?
So the Facebook page is primarily the main place to go to, because we'll monitor that message inbox there straight away, and they can see then the events that we're doing, or little things that, you know, that they can get some information from there anyway. But that's the best place for messaging. And there is a contact number on there as well, which is my mobile number. And then we have a website that is being updated, actually. Diane, one of our trustees, is actually looking at that at the moment and making that more accessible for people. But we also have that. But the first point is really Facebook, I would say. Yeah.
Cool. Well, just want to say congratulations for all the amazing work you're doing in the community, and keep up the good work. It'll be lovely chatting to you both. And sure, we'll see you again at the next Community ReAwards event.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks very much.